The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. This fielded at the 2. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Quarterback Mitchell Trubisky leading out the Chicago Bears. Former number 2 overall pick out of Carolina. Big improvements in year 2 for Trubisky. Touchdown spiked from 7 to 24. Yards per game went up by almost 50. And, of course, most importantly, the Bears went from 5 wins to 12 and an NFC North title. Now Trubisky on first down. Now he'll pull it down. The escapability in evidence there is that one good for 15 and a first.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Now this one complete downfield on the left side. 19 yards that time for number 19.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And that sack certainly just strengthening his candidacy for Defensive Player of the Year. You think he's got that one in the bag yet?
I'm not willing to vote quite yet just because I want to wait until the season's
under pressure again, and down he goes again.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back.
He's the NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack count. And he's going to go down again.
That's 3 sacks now. That's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. So on 4th down, on is the punter, Pat O'Donnell, to kick it away. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Chiefs now under their veteran head coach, Andy Reid. They'll be led out by the MVP of the National Football League in 2018, the former Texas Tech Red Raider, Patrick Mahomes.
Brandon, there's 2 weeks to go in the regular season, so you know the pressure is ramped up in so many ways. People have to win games, try and get their bonuses, the whole deal. But how about trying to close out an MVP award?
Just 2 weeks to go. There has to be a lot of pressure, though. We talked about that in previous weeks, sitting on his shoulder.
Yeah, he can talk all he wants about, I don't listen to that, and there's no pressure. All we're doing is trying to win games. He knows, we all know, he's been the one who's been leading the pack. Let's see if he can close it out.
And now the Chiefs' offensive starters.
The play and production of tight end Travis Kelce demands that we talk about him even more. Not only is he now a perennial All-Pro and Pro Bowl-type player, he's one of those guys that makes defenses adjust each and every time he's on the field. And while they do that, he still finds ways to beat them downfield.
He's airing it out for Williams. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. This unit against the pass, hoping to get better for sure. Number 25 in the NFL right now.
And when you're getting ready to face the number 1 overall offense in the NFL, it does not matter where you rank defensively because you got your hands full. You don't know what you're going to face, but you know that that's a strong unit that you're getting ready for.
And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down. So still a scoreless game in the first, but they're going to go for this thing on their own side of the field. is going to find Hill here. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. An 11-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Chiefs first down. On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. That's caught inside the 20. And he takes this thing way down into Chicago territory. Mahomes finding Hill for a big play. 52 yards. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. A great play there. His 17th touchdown now on the season as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 7-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Mitchell Trubisky on his way out, the subject of our players' spotlight. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
He'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. They'll throw on first down with Trubisky. Gets this to his running back, Tariq Cohen. A gain there of 12 yards and a first down for the Bears.
Nice little nifty play for him there. Yeah, that's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backs out of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got a bike. Oh, he just snuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down. 22 yards on the catch and run, a first down. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make someone miss in the open field.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Now it's Trubisky. Under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter. Back in Chicago, ready for the second quarter. It's the Bears in possession. They're in the midst of a nice drive, but facing a 3rd and long here. From the shotgun is Trubisky. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
They'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Now this, of course, the final Sunday night game of the year. All-day games in Week 17, 13 in the early window. Among them, you've got Steelers, Ravens, Dolphins, Pats, Saints and Panthers, Chiefs, Chargers, just to name a few. And then 3 more in the late afternoon out west. Raiders, Broncos, Cards and Rams, and Niners, Seahawks. And then that's it for the 2019 regular season. A good pickup there, 21 yards. Solid catch there for a man who's been so brilliant this year. Worth pointing out, as we were talking about earlier, there has never in the 60-year history of the award been a pass catcher, tight end, or wide receiver that has taken home the MVP trophy.
And the best receivers I've talked with, they know that stat, and it drives them crazy because they understand that without a quarterback, they don't make the plays that they make. They also don't feel like they get enough credit for bailing out some of the throws that quarterbacks make.
Absolutely. Takes two to tango. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. From the gun, it's Mahomes. It's Kelsey on the ground. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. Add the gain here to the previous play, and it's better than 40 yards total. This offense can certainly move quickly when they want to. 3 plays, 3 pass completions. In the blink of an eye, they've got it first and goal.
Almost felt like a lightning bolt hit in this game, didn't it? For them to get downfield that quickly. And now first and goal, expect them to attack right here on this play.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit them, but now they got to get ready. It's first and goal. Mahomes to throw once more. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Khalil Mack in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
A few times he's even defeated double teams. And the pressure gets to him again. Khalil Mack in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. They need to reverse the trend. The last 2 plays have gone backwards. Now it's third and goal. They shakes him off. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Robert Quinn. The offensive line is in tatters as that's now 3 sacks in 3 plays.
Third and goal, they decided to throw for it, but how about the play defensively? Couldn't find anyone open. Left him nowhere to go with the football. Had to absorb the sack.
And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. Butker, what a pickup he's been for Kansas City the last 2 years. Remember, he was drafted by Carolina to be the eventual successor to Graham Gano. That didn't pan out. Casey got him as a free agent. He's been really good.
Yeah, Gano said, oh no, I'm keeping my job. But Butker found his home in Kansas City, a franchise record for points scored in his first 2 seasons.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Trubisky will throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. The coach will have stats and scores from earlier today in the NFL. On third down, Trubisky under pressure again, and down he goes again. The Chiefs now going to use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. "21 yards. Well done on the return. And the Chiefs will have excellent field position here as they take over. Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. To throw, it's Mahomes. Complete, the tight end, Kelsey. And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. Travis Kelsey hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Chiefs are able to extend their lead.
Now that touchdown won't allow you to totally relax, but you can breathe a little easier now. Just increased their lead.
Butker now to add the extra point. He's got it, and it's 17-0. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and abundant. And he finds his tight end, Graham. Now the Bears going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime.
Hey, 4 down.
On third down, a run with Cohen. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. Now a second timeout called for by the defense as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Here's Pat O'Donnell now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. An 8-yard return there after a punt of 47. And it's Chiefs football, 1st and 10. Tyreek Hill making his way back out towards the huddle, making his presence felt early in this one. First half, already over the century mark.
How about the yards per completion, too? That's a pretty darn good number there. Number of catches, but he's shredding defenses, getting big yardage with each and every one of them.
The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. They have to be pleased with the way that they've moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
It's a loss of a yard there, and it's second down. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Working from the gun, Mahomes. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off around the 37. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Here's Trubisky to throw. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Able to get there and pick it. And he will be brought down as time has now run out on this first half of action. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll start out west at Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, where it was definitely a game with some intrigue, as you can see by the score line. 28-14 was your final score. From there, let's head cross-country to D.C. to check out the Redskins at home at FedEx Field. And they were losers in that one to the visiting New York Giants. Daniel Jones, strong in the victory, as it pushes his guys back above the 500 mark on the year. And finally, we wrap up another season of Monday Night Football with an early holiday present. Packers and Vikings from Minnesota to finish off Week 16. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Ready for the start of the third quarter. The Chiefs have the lead and set to receive the football. This one taken just inside the 10. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
Let's go. Let's do this.
Set to take over, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well, normally we say, well, get him right back out on the field and play again, right? But as you mentioned, had the halftime, had to stew about it a little bit. Maybe he'll have a chance to relax a little and kind of laugh and chuckle and let it go.
He'll hope to respond positively here to start the third quarter. And some room to maneuver. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
We got this.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction. And when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
He's going to let this one go deep. Got a man. It's caught at the 6-yard line. And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. Tyreek Hill with his 28th touchdown, drawing level with Sean Alexander for the second most in a single year. And thanks to the interception, the Chiefs offense cashes in with 6. Butker on for the PAT. And the lead is now 24. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it's capped off with a Kansas City touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Bears offense making their way out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the NFC. And they have secured that spot in the playoffs, clinching the NFC North division, in fact. So for the moment, they'd be hosting a wild card game in round 1.
And that's cause for celebration because anytime you're in the playoffs, you're happy. But the idea that you're in the playoffs and you're hosting the first game you have to play, that's a big-time lift for that team and for the organization because everything's familiar. You're at home. Your routine stays the same. You don't have to go on the road and change things up.
Get a win. Get some pressure comes, and Trubisky goes down. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. And he's going to go down again.
So, Brandon, we sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
Now Trubisky on 3rd and long. And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. 12 yards on the return that time. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. And now here comes Kansas City. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Eddie Jackson with a tackle.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
A gain of 2 there on the heels of a 1-yard pickup on 1st. Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. And it's complete to Kelsey. He's up to 70 yards receiving now as that last catch gets him a 1st down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
The running game fully in sync, 1-11 on that play.
And sometimes it comes from the offensive coordinator, understanding what he thinks the defense is going to do and dialing.
And he will score. Touchdown, Kansas City. A 6-yard touchdown run as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
Well, this was a pass all the way, but he just kept buying time, didn't he? It was kind of like, wait. Oh, it's open. Time to hot-foot it and go. And, boy, was he successful.
Yeah, didn't go to the outside toward the pylon, just straight ahead, middle third of the field.
Shortest distance between 2 points. Straight line.
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead will swell by 1 more. 5 plays there on that drive. And it was all capped by Patrick Mahomes using his legs to get in the end zone. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Mitchell Trubisky and the Bears set to begin their next drive. And what would you say is it? At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
What a nice read and play by the defensive tackle. Never bought the play-action fake. Went right for the quarterback and put him on the ground.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Burst by him near the 35. Touchdown, Chicago! Tariq Cohen, 79 yards. And the Bears get a bit closer. They blitzed defensively there, but he was able to slip through that first layer, and then he was gone.
I think they won the leverage game, didn't they?
Yes.
Right? They saw the blitz coming. That got to him a little bit, but they leveraged it perfectly and found not just a crease, a gigantic hole. And off he goes, and he's still going all the way to the end zone.
It only took him 2 plays there to find the end zone. The last one, the long run, getting him in for 6 points. This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the third quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
Mahomes now on first down. The tight end Kelce has it over the middle. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. 22 yards on the catch and run, a first down.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. It'll be a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll also be the final play of this third quarter.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
From the 30 on second down, Mahomes. And now he'll tuck it and run. Mahomes can sling it, but the feet are nimble too as he scrambles for a first down.
And we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But, you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
And he takes this into the end zone for a Chiefs touchdown. Travis Kelce, his second touchdown of the night as his guys continue to pour it on. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the fourth quarter. So that drive spanned 5 plays, and it winds up with the Chiefs hitting pay dirt. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. The Bears offense now getting ready to take over. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Now a nice play defensively on first down as this is knocked away and incomplete. 2nd and 10. It's Trubisky again. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team.
Well, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
Now the Chiefs offense, they get ready to head on the field. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I really enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones. And it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number 1 for what we've seen this season.
On 3rd and long, it's Mahomes. This pass going to be caught by Hardman. A good pick up there, 26 yards. And looking to put this game on ice in the fourth quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, And they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy, throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch. Good for 8 yards.
Let's get off the field. Let's get off the field. Mike 5'9", Mike 5'9".
From midfield, here's Mahomes. And an alley to run. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 37. When plays break down, that's normally when Mahomes is at his best throwing the football. But as we saw, he can run it too. Last year, 60 carries, 272 yards. Great elusiveness and speed. And the Chiefs obviously don't want him to be a running quarterback. But if he sees an angle like he did there, any opening, he has the ability to take it and run. And an alley to run. I guess no need to force it when you can do that instead. First down, 18-yard gain.
Containing him is becoming a big problem. We've already seen this once earlier on this drive.
Yeah, and so now 2 times this has happened. Do you adjust something?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you got to start thinking about your rush lanes. Try not to either get too wide or too narrow. Make sure someone is there waiting for him to take off.
And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. They've got it 1st and goal in a game that appears to have already been decided. Now they'll throw with Mahomes and give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So that drive goes 8 plays, and it's capped off with a Kansas City touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
And the pressure gets to him again.
Well, these guys want to do something positive as this game approaches its end. But after giving up back-to-back sacks, it's really been more indicative of how the game has gone for them.
Trubisky and the troops staying out there. They will go for it. They'll try and throw for it with Trubisky. A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Eli Apple. All smiles and high fives on that defensive sideline. That interception will cap off what was truly a tremendous performance.
Yeah, if you can hold a team to 7 points in the NFL, that's the kind of day that you feel really good about. And I do know a few guys are going to think to themselves, hell, on the 7. If we'd made one more play, could have had our shutout.
That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. And this is caught by Watkins. The Chiefs will use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Interesting. Mahomes wants to throw it. Completes it to Hardman. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. Now here's Mahomes. And that is intercepted by the all-pro safety, Eddie Jackson. And that will write a finish to this ball game.